艺术生鲜，
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 艺术生鲜。
ART TAIPEI欢迎您。
大家好，欢迎收听艺术声鲜 ART TAIPEI Live Talk， 我是主持人浩尔。今天我们在台北国际艺术博览会的现场录音，10月20号到23号在台北世贸一馆盛大展开，欢迎各位前来跟我们共襄盛举。现在这个时段是英文的场次，主题是西方视野，当代艺术的情感与城市探索。我们很荣幸邀请到今年 ART TAIPEI 的2位参展艺术家，分别是 V&E ART 艺术家 Nicolas Lefeuvre 还有 Bluerider ART 的艺术家 Marck。 那2位很高兴他们来到现场，我会先跟大家简单介绍一下哦。我们有看到 Nicolas Lefeuvre， 他是结合了建筑跟设计的背景，用离岛这个系列作品来呈现亚洲的文化、城市的生活跟感知之旅，用了墨水啊、钴啊、蓝染啊、金漆这些元素来呈现五感跟城市的漂移，来探索逃离混乱或者迎向未知未来的状态。另一位艺术家 Marck， 他作品中的主体是展现很多在社会阶层不同阶层的生理心理状态，处在熟悉跟陌生环境里面对时间空间的认同，创作成了所谓的 video sculpture 录像雕塑，来显示现代人游走在生存边界当中的一些限制跟身体的回应。非常非常的有意思哦。那我也来跟2位艺术家简单介绍一下。Right, so thank you so much for being here, Nicolas and Marck. Yeah, I will ask you questions one by one. And certainly I just did an introduction to our audience here, live and also on podcast. Right, so I will start my questions with Nicolas. Yes, so Nicolas, when you first created the Island series, that's the name of the series this time, how did you experience living in Asia? Like, how did this experience influence your artistic creation?
I think I was traveling very regularly in Asia and all over Asia, and I discovered many different countries. And the common point between these countries was the light early in the morning and late in the afternoon. And there are moments where everything is really calm, you know, and you're really into kind of mindfulness state of mind, and that's where your senses are really more open than during the day. So you're very sensible to shadows, to light, to sound, to smell, and that's how it started. Because instead of shooting and come back to my studio and paint, I was trying to be in a kind of meditation, mindfulness state. And I was coming back, and instead of in my studio painting what I've seen, I was painting what I felt during this moment. And this mood of Asian country, I was trying to translate back on the paper with ink, talk about light and talk about this moment that I spent into this Asian country.
当Nicolas Lefeuvre 在探索不同亚洲的城市的时候，特别对于一天当中不同时刻的光觉得特别敏感，也是在人们五感当中最敏感的时候。当感受到这些不同五感，回到工作室想要把它转换成用艺术的方式来表达这些不同五感的表达，然后觉得一天当中不同时刻的光是最大的影响，还有对亚洲国家最大的表达方式。
那 Nicolas， 你有用到墨水以外，你还有用到钴，还有这种特别的一些，比如说蓝染啊、金漆这些元素，可以跟我们分享一下为什么选用这些东西吗？ So I was asking that you're using elements like ink and cobalt and indigo dye and gold lacquer, so different elements to depict your experience. So why did you choose? What's the reason behind choosing these elements?
I think it's part of the moment concept that I was talking before. I didn't want to go to a shop and buy, you know, a tube of oil painting from this brand or that brand, which is giving you a proper color. I really wanted to do my own. So first I found in Japan, in a farm, where they were farming indigo plants. I managed to find there very good, very qualitative pigment. So it's indigo pigment mixed with cobalt. And the gold powder that I'm using, I found it only in countries where I traveled. And same for my tools. I didn't want to paint with the usual brush, etc. So I paint only with objects that I find during my trip. And it allows me to have my own technique and develop my own skill on that technique. And it gives detail of where I was, because the objects are often coming from place I've traveled. And sometimes not here in this art fair, but I have pieces where I mount the objects on the painting to let them live together.
我不想要直接买，比方说大公司出产的一些染料或是颜料来创作，我比较想要是能够融入当地特色的一些染料。比如说当我旅游至日本的时候，在那里的农场有种植一些蓝染的一些农作物，所以用那些农作物我就有办法使用蓝染，还有把它混与钴来创作我的作品，这样能够融入当地的文化、当地的特色。
Thank you. We'll come back to you, Nicolas. And now moving on to Mark. 然后问 Mark 就是在创作所谓的 video sculpture 这个录像雕塑的作品的时候，是什么样的灵感跟背后的想法 ？So I'm really curious about your creation of video sculpture. First of all, it's a very special form of art. So what inspired you or what propelled you to start this series?
I was every time interested about films and art films, but the shape was too less for me, only a TV. Only in beginning was this tube TV, the old school TV. And I want more, so like Nanyum Baek, you know, this Korean guy, this artist. And this was for me, wow, other person makes really other. And then I experiment, comes more and more. I want the frame break because the movie goes out of the frame, or the frame is the cage from the movie.So I want this mix too.
所以我觉得现在的一些影视的呈现方式非常的有限制，比方说在北京看到的老旧式的电视有一些限制，然后我被在韩国的艺术家的呈现方式感到了启发，觉得影像作品的，比方说电视的框架是一个对于影像作品的一个限制，所以认为应该要结合这个框架外面的一些概念与社会的一些议题融入进我的作品当中。
Now I can understand why some of your artworks like go out of the frame, because they're extending out of the frame, right? So also as a viewer, I think people might be curious or wondering, like, is it 2D or 3D, you know, from the surface? Is that your intention to make people wonder?
Yeah, genau. That's why it looks like 3D, because the movie, it's always on the flat. It's flat, but when I create behind the background light and the front, then comes this deep, and the brain from a human make then this together, and then looks the figure on the movie really 3D more. So
这些影像他们通常都是用 2D 的方式去表示，但是我觉得必须得要融入更深层的意义，所以希望透过影像，然后透过人们脑中的一些思考和探索去表达出一些比较深入的一些概念，所以透过 2D 来表示一些 3D 的概念。
Yeah, thank you very much. We will come back to you, Mark. Yeah, the light box is definitely interesting. So, you know, I was so curious. 我刚刚是跟 Mark 说，我们待会再跟他聊，因为他的作品当中的灯箱呈现很有趣，那大家可以来看看，我是非常好奇的。So coming back to Nicolas, alright, so in your Island series, we also see escaping and moving forward as two probably themes of people drifting in urban areas, right? So is that what you find, or is that how you're feeling in cities here in Asia? Or actually that is what you find universal in different parts of the world?
I think it's, as I'm traveling, I'm in motion. The city is always in motion, and you always have movement in what I try to remember, because it's not a picture that I remember, it's a moment. So of course you have motion. So that's why it's part of that. Now, the escape concept that I'm trying to figure out is, I think, as I'm bringing back my own perception of what I felt, I'm kind of changing the reality, because it's my reality, and I'm trying to escape and reinvent landscape and a world, which is of course different. So I'm escaping from the real world and invite people to go in this world but have their own interpretation. That's why sometimes on my paintings I'm not trying to explain it's very abstract, but if I explain to you what it is, you say, oh yes, I see it, but I let people doing their own escape as well.
我觉得一个城市它就像人们是一直在流动的，它并非是静止的一个状态。这个逃离的这个概念是用我自己的一种感受去看不同的城市，所以每个人的感受其实是不同的。我的创作当中，我希望每一个人他们去看我的创作的感受其实是不同的。虽然我可以用我的观点去解释我的艺术，但是我还是更希望每一个人能够有他们自己的看法观点。
刚刚我询问 Nicolas 的是他的作品当中呈现出城市的飘离这种主题，而且有逃离跟前进。那他刚聊了比较多逃离，我想要多问一点关于前进的。Yeah, so that was about escaping. What about moving forward? I think that's also another theme that's shown in your works.
Yes, it's I think if you look at what I'm doing in this series, there are blocks, of colors, patterns. It's the same colors, but I'm doing a structure which is a little bit like a storyboard for a movie. And when I think about movie, I think about music, I think about road movie. During this trip, I was between what I can see from a plane, what I can see from a train. I'm entering a hotel, I'm going out of the hotel, I'm going to discover city, streets. So this going forward is a very first degree moving forward concept, but for me, in what I'm doing, it's a quest, of finding light, finding myself sometimes. So that's why I'm going forward through my life to discover myself sometimes through what I'm doing.
这个前进的这个概念是当我在旅游当中穿梭至不同的一些地方，比方说从飞机的窗户下往外看，或是进入酒店等等等，这些所有的经历可以连在一起变成一个故事线，然后这些故事线讲述了我对人生中前进的概念做的一些解释。
Coming back to Marck, right, so 我刚刚问到的是已经知道他的创作有很多突破框架的东西嘛，那也好奇这个突破框架是不是也要反映现代人的生活有很多的限制跟突破框架。 So we were talking about your works in breaking the limits or going out of the frames. Is that like symbolic of our modern life being limited and people are trying to break free?
Yeah, but I think this is not in the modern times. This was always. You live in a frame. This make politics or society or the culture, whatever. And this is always my question. When I this make, then it's always have the reason to do so. But I want not this explain, because the visitor must self the feeling from herself to feel and then self-interpret.
我的创作中其实想要表达出了很多社会议题的所谓的框架，比方说政治上面或是文化上面或是人文上面的这些框架，然后我希望观众们看我的创作中能够有自己的看点、自己的观点、自己的想法。
Interesting. So it's open for interpretation for the audience. This time that you're showing in Art Taipei, I saw two. right, to wood box, but on the surface it looks like gold. That's also quite interesting. Yeah, so no, I'm just talking to the audience and welcoming them to check them out. 对，我只是在讲说这次 Marck 他带来艺博的作品是2个看起来是木箱，可是表面又有金属的材质，还蛮特别的。Yeah, so do you have anything to add, especially for Art Taipei, for the works that you're showing this time?
To what?
The 2 boxes
that
you're showing this time. Yeah, why do you make them gold-like on the surface?
Gold? Why gold?
I mean, on the surface it's golden.
Golden, yes, but why? I think this is a good question. I don't know. maybe I have the picture from Asian to gold, more gold. I don't know. Sometimes I think not about it. I make only, and then when I dislike the shape, the color, or whatever, then it's okay. But I make not so concept. I have an idea, and maybe the shape of sure I must do so, but he comes like when you paint. Sometimes I make them completely other.
I see. Yep.
其实我在创作的时候没有想太多，就是比方说为什么我要选金色这个颜色放在这些木箱上面，其实是没有想太多的，因为灵感这种东西是说来就来的，通常在创作的时候只会有一个大概的一个图形或者是大致上面的一个颜色或概念，然后在创作的过程中更多的灵感就会涌入，从这些得来的灵感再来创作。
Thank you. And coming back to Nicolas, all right, so we're going towards the final session of this recording session. All right, so now I would like the both of you to maybe say something to the audience. Do you have any recommendations when they come here to visit your booth and to check out the artworks? Or maybe anything you want to share with them?
Nothing special in particular except that when they come and see my work, just to stay there for a moment, just select one piece. They don't have to spend too much time on the 4 of them, but select one piece they like and just let them dive in and try to imagine and have their own creative process by trying to see what they see inside. Because I'm not sending a message, I'm sending many messages, and I want them to just feel good, because it's feeling good is one of the most important thing. And and I would like to say thank you for Taipei for welcoming me here.
观众们来到我的展位的时候，希望能够选一个作品来深入的去理解它，去观看它，然后能够比较深入的去有自己的看法，然后透过这个作品去反思自己，然后用自己的方式去理解这个作品。最后是谢谢 Art Taipei 这次的邀请。
And Marck, do you have any suggestions or recommendations for the audience that's coming to Art Taipei? Maybe they will visit your booth and check out your artworks.
Yep, I want the visitors to have a feeling when my artworks watch, because own really a deep. This is my wish to this auslösen.
Like that's what you want to express.
Genau, yes. And it's nice to be here.
Maybe I can bring up something about your background. You had a mechanical background, is that correct?
Yes, I have, yes.
Yeah.
And in the young years I beginning with electronic and then a lot of mechanical stuff.
But definitely it's part of your artworks now.
Yeah, it's a lot of it with iron, wood, concrete sometimes, electronic, all this, and I make yourself, yes. I want this too, because I want not so like this. Some artists make really other the work and only the name. Mm-hmm. I want this really to self all. It's important for me.
Yes.
真正希望观众们能够跟我的创作产生深入的一些共感，因为我的机械的一些背景，所以呢 也会融入一些比方说木头啊或是水泥或是钢筋之类的这种元素进入我的创作当中。总结来说，就是希望观众们能够跟我的创作跟作品产生一些共感跟一些观点。
Yeah. So lastly, going forward, do you see some potential collaborations or future plans for working here in Taipei, Taiwan, or further with Art Taipei?
Yes, of course, because I'm working with V&E ART, so I'll definitely come back. I came many times before, and I've been living in Asia for 18 years, so I will not stop coming to Taipei, and no, I need to travel more within Taiwan to feel things and see if also I can do other collaboration with people here. Yes.
我现在在 V&E 这边已经有了合作，其实我在台湾也已经住了18年有了。更希望的是能够花多一点时间去探索台湾的不同的角落，然后把这些探索出来的感想再融入我的艺术跟作品当中。自然是会想要多多的回到台北，然后来分享我的作品。
And the same question goes to Marck.
Yeah, I wish I can more to stay here, but now I see in the gallery Bluerider we have this concept artist in residence, and I make this so little parts, but I need material, and I have a problem when I have not my tools, a lot of tools,
okay.
The machines. This is crazy. Now I see, so this is not cool for me, but I need my space and my thousand of materials and tools and so.
Your studio.
Yeah, my studio. This is very important. So I was invited in New York for artist in resident for 1 year, and I say no. What I can then there do? I need the space. I need all these tools. That's the problem.
They hear you now. So
Yeah,
maybe
now
we have
I'm here.
solutions.
Yeah, but I must go then home. So I'm not a travel artist. It's not possible for me. So
我自然是希望能够在台湾多待一些时间，不过在创作当中，我的工作器材、我的工作室还有特别的一些材料是至关重要的，所以我不是一个能够到处去各地创作的一个艺术家，我必须得要在有特定的一些材料或者是工具的情况下来创作，所以我必须回到自己的工作室才能完成这些创作。
Alright, thank you very much. Now I'll do the conclusion in Chinese. 这个时段的节目西方视野当代艺术的情感与城市探索专场访问就到这边告一个段落，更多精彩内容请继续锁定中华民国画廊协会 Clubhouse 账号，或到各大 podcast 平台搜寻艺术声鲜 Art Taipei Live Talk， 也欢迎您在10月20号到23号来台北世贸艺馆跟我们一同参与第30届的台北国际艺术博览会。 And that concludes our recording session. Thank you so much.
非常感谢，
谢谢。